Okay, good morning everyone. So again, I'm Friche Margalio from BE at 3A. For the preliminary question number 1, for me, multi-grade is including or involving students from more than one grade level. And for the question number 2, our barangay has no multi-grade school, but the term that most people commonly use is a multi-grade is sometimes referred to as a combination class. So for the questions under self-assessment 1, number 1, yes, the first example is somewhat the same as the movie Mga Munting Tinig. There are situations common in both stories. And for question number 2, yes, although I have not tried attending multi-grade classes, I can relate to the long walks just to get to school early in the morning. And there are no playgrounds where we can play. We just played outside the room. I may not have attended multi-grade classes, but I know if I did, I would probably enjoy it because I'm a type of person who love to socialize with varieties of people from different age where I can learn from them and also they can learn from me. And for question number 3, multi-grade classes is a very challenging not just for the teachers but also for the students and parents because of the different problems they can encounter such as lack of educational aids, but these challenges does not mean that there is no beauty in this type of class. This was created because of the necessity and we should be grateful for it. If I will be a mother in the future, I would like my child to experience this kind of class in order for him or her to be enlightened and to learn because as they always say, experience is the best teacher and I will guide him or her throughout the learning process. Also, teachers are there to help them. As a future educator, I can say that there are a lot of things teacher can do to teach effectively. But the first thing she must do is listen to each of her students. So, multi-grade and monograde differ from each of the following characteristics. So the methods in multi-grade, they use a variety of methods are used to meet the needs of the individual learners, while in monograde, a whole class approach is used to meet the needs of an individual learners. So for the multi-grade, the organizations, more time is needed in organizing and planning instruction, while in the monograde, the teacher is responsible for only the mandated curriculum for that particular grade. And in terms of relationships in multi-grade, because of the small class size, the teachers appear to be part of the family unit. While in the monograde, the teacher is responsible for only that school population is larger, so it is more difficult to develop interpersonal relationship. And for the tutoring in multi-grade, peer tutoring is employed. Older learners serve as teachers and role models, while in the monograde, usually group leaders assist others. And in terms of teacher training in multi-grade, many teachers have no multi-grade training and lack of technical support, while in monograde, many are trained with government support. And in terms of number, in multi-grade, fewer children are frequently in multi-grade classes, while in monograde, normal class size is 40 to 60 students. And in terms of curriculum, the curriculum in multi-grade is not designed for multi-grade classes, while in monograde, the curriculum is geared towards monograde classes. And in remuneration, in multi-grade, there is no special remuneration for teaching multi-grade classes, while in monograde, special remuneration is possible through promotion. In terms of skills in multi-grade, teachers require more skills in order to handle different grades, while in monograde, fewer skills are required to handle one grade. And lastly, in terms of resources, in multi-grade, the community is often poor and cannot provide additional educational materials, while in monograde, the government often provide educational materials. So, we've interviewed one of the former multi-grade teacher in Cancalapi Primary School in Alegria, Cebu, which is she is Ma'am Rhea Lastimoso. So there are a lot of challenges or issues she encountered while teaching multi-grade class. The first one is classroom organization. So as I listened to her, at first, she was confused on how to arrange her students, but she managed to do it. She simply arranged them by columns. First column would be kinder, followed by grade 1 and grade 2. And in the number of children and age range, that time, she has 2 kinder pupils, 2 grade 1, and 3 grade 2 pupils. And the methods used by the teachers, she always, as we interviewed her, she always gives her kinder pupils activities first to keep them busy so that they will not distract the whole class. And then she will proceed to lecturing grade 1 and grade 2 pupils at the same time. Because they have the same learning objectives, they just differ in their activities. So in the types of activities performed by the students, she gave her pupils coloring activities for kinder, identifying objects that starts with a certain letters for grade 1, and drawing for grade 2 pupils. Also, they teach them the most important skill, which is literacy and innumeracy. And for the support provided by the teachers, learners, and the community, based on her explanation, she told us that some materials from division office does not fit in their area. That is why she looks for other materials that the pupils can relate in order for them to understand the lesson easily. Also, she received hardship fee from the government. And the challenges for her is the first one would be preparation for each activities, the location, confusing at first, the road, and the pressure in making lesson plan individually per grade level. So in teaching multi-grade, for me, the more diverse the group of learners in a class, the more difficult it is to teach. Split grades add another dimension of age and ability and curriculum the teacher is responsible for. Some split classes are unavoidable, and good teachers should be able to teach them fairly well. But that same teacher can do a better job with students in a single grade. When the time that I started to hear the word multi-grade teaching, the first to come in my mind was a challenge. Because as a future teacher, there will be a time that you will teach one or more grade level in the same time. But this can be a big help to areas that need attention to address issues on access to education, such as remote and rural areas, and areas that are facing in different types of conflict. We all know that it's a challenge for us as a future teacher because it is not an easy work for us. But we have to think that there are a lot of children who wait for us to teach them. So in unit test question number 1, multi-grade teaching involves the teaching of children from 2 or more grade levels in one classroom. Such context requires the employment of particular teaching methodologies and classroom administrations. Since multi-grade classes are smaller and can be established more cheaply than complete schools, they can be more numerous, therefore more dispensed and thus located closer to the settlements where the children live. This means both that younger children can attend and that time children spend traveling between school and home can be reduced to an acceptable level. And for the question number 2, multi-grade teaching means to teach students of different grades, ages, and abilities. In the same group, it is different from monograde teaching, in which students within the same grades are seen to be more similar in terms of age and ability. And for the question number 3, For me, multigrade teaching is challenging and hard, but also exciting because you will be in a certain situation in which one teacher has to teach many grades, all at the same time. It happens in all school where there are more grades than teachers. The main purpose of the teacher is to teach students by imparting knowledge, not just a follow curriculum, but must be able to develop skills and inculcate desirable values and attitudes among the students. The most challenging part is that how can